What's up, Mr. Aaron? My name is Logan Parrott. I'm the head manager of West Kentucky basketball. Today, I'm going to be doing a deep dive of Western Kentucky and kind of what makes them tick. And those two things was their offensive identity and their transition game. And the process in which I did to do this was I took the 3 games West Kentucky had in their conference championship run, in which they played New Mexico State in the quarterfinals, they played Middle Tennessee in the semifinals, and they played UTEP in the championship. And from these 3 games, I flagged any clip I thought matched the 2 categories of the offensive identity and the transition game. And from there, I put them into a sorter, and I organized the sorter. And after I organized the sorter, there was probably like 25, 30 clips when it was all said and done. From there, I then moved it all into a organizer. And with the organizer, there was just one long row of all these. I then added 2 rows of the offensive identity and the transition. And then from there, I then moved it to each row that needed to be in. And then from there, I trimmed the clips down. And then I did deleted clips that I didn't think needed to be there. Ended up at about 11. I mean, there was 11 really good clips. I didn't think I could trim it down anymore. Each of them are pretty good, but I make sure I'm pretty quick with it. But yeah, we'll get right into it. And just to start off, before we say anything about this guy right here, I mean, he's the head of the snake. I mean, it's tough to stop this guy. He was a very dynamic scorer, coming in as basically like a freshman. He was a junior. As a junior, he went to a junior college for 2 years. Very interesting road to get to Western Kentucky, but basically his freshman year at Western Kentucky, he had a great year, averaged like 15 a game, was their lead scorer. He's really tough to stop. He had a really good left hand, and he shows it really right here with this step, with kind of the step back right here, the hezzy. I mean, that's tough. I mean, the dude was completely turned around. Let's go back to that. That dude was completely turned around. I mean, like the dude was a great scorer. I mean, like he's really good at getting downhill. But what I was mentioning with the step back, he really liked to step back into that hezzy. But that right there, he got to a spot and just got hezzy to get downhill. But this is another thing that West Kentucky's really good at is the post entry passes. They usually do have post split right here between the two of these guys. But with this guy right here, this guy's very versatile. Babacar Faye, number 5. Right here, he gets to his fadeaway right here if you cut him off. But this is really good. Like I think his name was Christian Cook right here. He did really good at kind of being there and make sure he couldn't go to work. But him and Rodney Howard really good at playing in and out of the post. He's more versatile. Bob Carr is more versatile than Rodney Howard. Rodney Howard's more of a bruiser in the post. He'll kind of get the ball, take 2 dribbles, get hit into your chest, hit like a left hand hook shot. But Bob Carr is a little bit more versatile. He is kind of more slippery. And you're going to see in this clip right here, he kind of goes to work right here, gets to a spot, has a really good move in the end with a good show, and he gets to his reverse mic and finish. And this is another good thing right here. This is going to be a dribble handoff from Rodney Howard to Chris Lander. And this is West Kentucky's bread and butter throughout the year right here. Latiga Moore is going to cut through, and Chris Lander is going to fill from here. And Chris Lander is going to do a good job right here. Takes his time right here, and lets the big right here. He's gonna show, and then Rodney Howard's gonna open up right here. So a short roll, shows his hands, nothing there, but he's gonna let him get back. And then he takes his time, let Brandon Newman cut through, and sees an angle right here. Look at this angle right here. Cut through with no help. He knows he can beat him. He's kind of slow-footed. He gets downhill, boom, gets downhill to his left hand. That's a strong hand. That's bread and butter. 2 points. That's that barbecue chicken right there. And we get right here. This is West Kentucky's also bread and butter. I mean, they play through the whistle. It's a hard team to play. I mean, it really is. This guy was freaking nuts to get to the free throw line. This dude averaged probably like 6 free throws a game just because he's so physical. Because he plays through the whistle. He doesn't shy away from the contact. He embraces the contact. And that just summed up Western Kentucky. I mean, like these dudes play really hard. And then they're going to play hard for 40 minutes. There's not really any time they let off. And it really showed in all their scores. So you're going to see Western Kentucky really doesn't lose by much. They lost a lot of games by single digits last year. But, I mean, they're a really good team. They really play hard through the whistle. And overall, it's a tough team to play against. And this is an example why it's a hard team to play against right here. This is out of West Kentucky's Swivel series. It's one of their base concepts. And this is just going to be a down screen to a back screen. And Darian Newman's going to curl on the screen right here. And then the big thing about this play was that, I mean, right here, that's a tough shot. I mean, that really is a tough shot. I mean, I think Nate Oates in Alabama probably would like that shot, man. I mean, like he probably wants him to be right here and or at the rim. I mean, that's a tough too. That's a lost art in today's game. But I mean, it's definitely tough. But I mean, that's a good look. Didn't go. But the Rodney Howard tap out right here. I mean, that kills you, man. I mean, it's tough to get something like that, but you really just have to do your work early. And it does lead to something like this. Gets downhill, weak closeout, kind of open-footed closeout right there. There's really no help right here. And Rodney Howard kind of a good steal right here, kind of like a Gortat. Kind of, not really, but kind of. Just kind of steals them. I mean, that's tough. I mean, that wears you down as a defense. I don't know if you saw the reaction right there, but I mean, they were shook. I mean, it's tough to play against something like that. Play great defense for 20 seconds or something, in 20-25 seconds, and you see a tap back out, and they get a bucket. That wears on you. The same thing out of their base concept. It's the swivel series. It's another one of their actions they go to. It's just gonna be a zoom series with a down screen and a dribble handoff. They did this as also their barbecue chicken throughout the years. Getting to this guy right here. That's Tyrone Marshall Jr. He's really dynamic with his very dynamic player. He's very athletic, and he probably had the game of his life against Marquette. If you put it simply, had like 21, 8, and 6, something like that. Had a great game and really put West Kentucky on his back. He definitely got his NIL money that game. That's definitely for sure. We're going to move on to the transition clips and kind of what makes WKU tick there. They were number 3 in the country in their pace but when it was all said and done. I'll touch base on that a little bit more here in a minute. But, I mean, this is just talking about Don McHenry and how he was so good. Him and their backup, Jalen Jackson, so he went down. Christian Lander, Jack Edelin, number 15. That's Christian Lander right here, number 4. Them two were really good at getting downhill, getting to this elbow right here, bouncing it out, then rotating, getting the ball moving. But, I mean, he's such a good scorer. Like, he's thinking score first. Gets downhill, gets that left hand. Like I said early in this video, bread and butter right there. That's left hand, that's 2 points. You should already put 2 points on the board, man. And this right here is just showing that West Kentucky can rebound 1 through 4 for the most part and then push the ball again in transition. This was a great move by Dante Allen, getting to his left hand right here. But for the most part, what really happens, anytime like the 5-man, whoever rebounds the ball, like Randy is about to have an outlet, a pass right here. The guard's going to banana cut right here. He's going to get downhill, get to the elbow. That kind of was what Coach Lutz's philosophy was for Western Kentucky. But there'll probably be a couple of changes for this next year is what we're thinking. But it's just something to prepare for. This anybody can take in transition. In this example of the Christian Lander speed, I mean, this is just outruns everyone. Great pass, great kick-ahead pass, Brandon Newman. I mean, it's tough to stop something like that. And this is another reason why they're really good. Like I said, we talked about Babacar Faye and Rodney Howard posted up right here is going in and out. All 4 of these guys right here are all great shooters. Tom Marshall started getting more confidence in his jumper, but these 3 in themselves are great shooters. So you have to have high urgency if he's closing out to these dudes. They can kill you throughout the game with little stuff like that in transition. And this is what we were talking about with their pace. I mean, they were number 3 in the country. At some point during the season, I think it was in the middle of the season, West Kentucky was number 1. Number 1 in the country in their pace. And this stuff like this. Their spacing, their wings spaced to the corner. They usually have a guard pushing the pace. Usually have a trail, which is their 4 and a 5. That's your traditional. But West Kentucky was really good at filling spots. And that was something that really allowed for this shot right here because the big fella was late to get back. And that led to a 5-on-4 opportunity, and they cashed in right here with Tyrone Marshall 3. I mean, I think that about sums it up for the most part. West Kentucky's a really tough team to stop. You really got to get back on defense, and you really got to match up well. They're definitely a team you got to play really physical with, and you really have to match their intensity for 40 minutes. They're a team you really cannot let your foot off the gas. If you ever have a lead, it's not going to be safe. You really just have to keep the pedal to the metal, and you really got to keep pushing the pace on them. And you got to wear them out. And it's definitely a tough team to play against. But yeah, I think that sums up for the most part. Thank you so much, Mr. Aaron. I really appreciate everything you're doing for helping us through this. It's definitely a blessing to use sports code and then to keep learning and stuff like this. It's definitely very helpful in my career and my future aspirations. And I'm really blessed and very appreciative of you for helping us all through this. Thank you so much, and have a good rest of your